And Roland is back. The official launch, I guess, of Hurricane Florence is coming up in just, what, 48 hours?
It's just not a good scenario. I mean, it's Monday, anticipating landfall Thursday afternoon sometime. But remember, we've talked about
the process.
It's a process. Landfall is not an event. It's a very slow, painstaking, never-ending process where you sit there and you start feeling the outer bands, then it just keeps on going and going and going. And then the eye passes over, and then once the eye passes over, you think you're catching a break, but then it just, everything reverses and comes from the opposite direction.
And those first effects are going to start feeling them what, Wednesday afternoon?
I'd say Wednesday night they'll start getting some outer rain bands. Right now the weather's gorgeous out there along the coastline of the Carolinas, as is typically the case, folks. Weather's always nice prior to a landfall of a hurricane. Take a look at what's happening in the Atlantic Ocean right now. You see those little 3 red dots? That's a sign that there's a lot of trouble in the tropics right now. First of all, as we zoom in near the west coast of Africa, Hurricane Helene, not a concern. It's going to be turning northward. Then we have Hurricane Isaac. This one is expected to continue pushing in a due westerly direction. Here, of course, is Hurricane Florence with sustained winds 140 miles per hour. And the Hurricane Center saying when you see a flare-up like this in the northwestern Caribbean, you got to start watching for tropical development. Hurricane Center says that this has a 50% chance of becoming some kind of an organized tropical cyclone, and residents from Louisiana through the Texas coastline need to be monitoring that carefully. And the peak of the hurricane season is 2 days away. So all of this coincides with the peak of the hurricane season being September the 12th. Smoke has returned here to much of southern Idaho, and also getting a few high thin cirrus clouds in advance of an approaching cold front. Now, before you get excited and think that we're going to be getting some rain, this is going to be a dry front. And as it moves through the Treasure Valley, it's going to take our temperatures down about 10 degrees compared to where we have been. Today's high, perfect, right at 81 degrees. That is exactly the average for this time of the year. And let's see if we can find the cold front on the satellite imagery. It's very, very hard to see. The top fringe of the front is way up here to the north, and what we have is a front that's located down here to the south. So it is fairly dry. Then this broad area of low pressure is what's going to be moving in behind this initial front that moves in tonight. And as that low pressure center moves in and sets up residence right along the California-Oregon coast, it's just going to pull in some very cool air. So it's going to be cooler than normal all the way through Friday. And we could see a few spotty mountain showers on Thursday. Otherwise, I just don't anticipate seeing any rain here in the Treasure Valley. My 7-day forecast for the valley, let's go with temperatures down to 75. That's cooler than average. 72 on Wednesday and Thursday, 74 on Friday, and then we'll warm it up very nicely just in time for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday will both see high temperature readings back up to near 80 degrees. And the mountains may see a few showers. We'll say spotty showers possible as that low pressure center approaches on Thursday. Otherwise, the weekend up in the high country also looks very, very nice.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.